Well, good evening, everybody. Seems our Canadian neighbors decided to send a cold blast down our way. It got down to about 14 today. Wind's going pretty well, if you can't tell, and you can also tell we're sitting here doing a voiceover. So we're still moving on, trying some different things with the videography, I guess you'd call it. Um, Trying not to make it all about that. There's obviously the project is the main focus, but trying to be a little more creative in the video process. I do enjoy it. As I get a hold of this GoPro Hero 5 from my father-in-law. We actually got it for him for Christmas here, last year. He never even took it out of the package, so he knew I'd been doing the videos. He's even been in one farther back down the line, one of the farm vlog ones that we kind of stopped doing those. But so he sent it down here and says, "Give it a shot." And I tell you, it takes pretty good video. It drowns out the wind pretty well. So I rigged up a mount for it a couple times here. I just clamp it onto one of the pegs in the tie beams that I haven't trimmed off yet, and we get some cool shots. You guys can see a little bit of moving the camera around on the tripods. Just my work cell phone. Actually, I've done probably the last 60 or 70 videos have been from that iPhone 7 that they got me at work. Unfortunately, they went with AT&T, so it doesn't work very well around here. It's kind of a Verizon is king area, but works great for making the videos. The time lapse there is a big saving grace for me, but takes a lot of the redundancy out when you can speed things up. So tonight we're just working on another tying member for the queen post up above on the second floor. After this, I only have, what do I have, 3 more to cut, so that's not too bad. I've got to get back to the woods, hopefully here pretty quick. I still have not been able to make it out and check out that stand of free timber, but I'm hoping hunting season's in full swing here, and I'm a hunter. I don't have time too much anymore, much to my children's disappointment, but place where these trees are, a few guys hunt it, and I really don't want to ruin their hunts, but gonna have to get to them soon if I want to beat the snow. If this weekend's any indication, it's going to be a good one this year. This is some of the coldest weather I've ever seen in November this weekend, and it's supposed to get back up in the 50s this week. It's working out here tonight with that wind and that cold. I wasn't too bad. I picked up a pair of DeWalt insulated work gloves, and they're actually pretty damn warm. And then doubled up on my Arbor Wear hoodies and double layer of wool socks. I'm good to go. The transition time of year up here, when you go from winter into spring or fall into winter, is always hard. It's always muddy, it's always wet, it's always cold, it's always windier than hell. But once you get into the heart of the seasons, you can get a lot done. I like working in the wintertime quite a bit. I like to be outside anyway, outside or puttering around on something in my shop, and just not the kind of guy to sit in my house all day long. I don't know how anybody can do that, if you're able to get out, that is. But so anyway, tonight we're just doing a little more cutting, a little more joinery. Every night we're one step closer. It's always a good time, but like I said, I thought it'd be kind of cool to show you guys kind of a bird's eye view of what we're doing as I'm filming and things like that, moving the camera around and whatnot. But this timber is pretty nice. It's a real stable piece here. It's not like those 4x6s we cut the other night for braces. I had a good bow in it coming off of the sawmill, which isn't a big deal. When you're cutting them into braces that short, I had a couple people mention it. But when you cut them into braces that short, you can usually get that bow right out of them. So it's not too bad. But I braved it for a little while tonight before I came in the house and said, I'll sit by the fire. I just put another hunk of firewood on the stove and sitting here in the recliner editing on the laptop. You got the TV running with no sound just for some lighting, and doesn't get any better than this. I'm not even all hopped up on coffee tonight. It's about 1 a.m. So by the time I get this rendered and start to upload, it should be about close to 2 a.m. And tomorrow morning, we are butchering cows. That'll be a good time. Now, we're only doing one. I know somebody had asked me to take the camera along on it, but I won't be taking the camera along on the cow butchering. I actually have a hard time shooting them things myself, and I just don't feel like receiving all the hate mail. But that's just what we do here on a farm. You raise these animals to eat, and that's what they're there for, to generate a little revenue, and that's what you have. So we're going to slip it into the actual work here pretty quick here in a few more seconds once I get done fiddling around with the camera there and take the gloves off. It was hard to film tonight. Batteries were getting dead fast. I filmed with two different phones tonight, my personal phone and my work phone, and this GoPro here, and everything was dying fast. I had to stop every little bit, go in, charge them up a little bit, and keep going. But I also see I need to clean this building up some. But anyway, here we go into the work, guys. Maybe. Could be. Any second now. Alright, so there's a little bit of work for you guys. Tell you, these 8x8 timbers are so much easier to deal with. Holy cow. And even the difference between these and a 10x10 just for handling, moving it around, sawing through. Of course, my computer just dinged right in the middle of a voiceover. Thank you, computer. But you guys could see probably here where I made a good boo-boo on this one. I actually, when I set the depth on that saw, and something you guys can look for when you go to do it, especially if you're using one of these Bigfoots, sometimes you lift up on the back end of that saw and you clamp it down and you don't realize you did it, and that's exactly what I did. And instead of double checking it like I should have, I cut about 3/16 of an inch too far into that tenon. It's not going to hurt anything. If it was one of the big tie beams, I probably would have redone it, because I want every bit of strength I can get out of those. Remember, those tie beams, those are in a heavy tension load. So especially, my son's passed out on the couch and he just snorted. The boy. But anyway, so those tie beams are in a really big tension load on those things. They're going to be handling all the rafter thrust. They're going to be resisting that force. You've got a scarf joint, at least I do. I have a big scarf joint in the middle that you guys have seen in some of the older videos. Now that those are quite a ways back now, now that we're into the second floor framing, it's kind of like starting the building all over again. But anyway, these tenons here, they don't have much of a tension load on them at all. They shouldn't really. The way I'm framing this roof, the lower tier of the gambrel roof should be pushing in against my purlin plates, which will in turn push those queen posts into the shoulders of those tenons on the tine members for the queen posts. So that's something to keep in mind. So that little 3/16 over isn't a big deal to me. I just don't like that I did it. It's little simple mistakes like that that can really add up. And I still have, I told you guys a long time ago that I had one doozy of a mistake that I have yet to show you guys, and I have yet to fix it. But I will be showing you guys, and I'm going to have to show you very quickly before I have to fix it before I set the top plates. Basically, long story short, I ended up cutting a tie beam too long. I don't know how I did it. I got off on my layout by 1.5 inches. And so that thing's 1.5 inches too long, that's not going to be fun to fix because I'm going to have to drive the pegs out, cut the mortise back for the knee brace, cut it back into the tie beam another 1.5 inches, drive the pin out of that. It's just not going to be very much fun. I'm not looking forward to it, but we'll get through it. We'll do it. But like I told you guys a few times over a lot of videos, full disclosure is king. I can't just sit here and show you guys all the everything that goes well. You got to see all facets of the project and realize it's okay to make a mistake as long as you know how to fix it. So that'll be a good one, and it's probably going to be coming up here pretty quick because I'm almost to a point where I can't move much farther without taking care of it. So anyway, the clock's winding down here. We only have a few seconds left in the video, so we're going to break it off there. Really appreciate you guys tuning in and following along. You guys that watch every video and comment every video, it is much appreciated. So you guys have a good one. I will catch you on the next one.